Well, it's a real pleasure to welcome back to the studios members of the Mully family. Dr. Charles Mully and his daughter Ndondo Mully are here. Now, many people in the CHVN family, they're going to know the name Charles Mully. They've heard it a few times over the years, thanks to local grandfather Arvid Loen. But Dr. Mully, for those who maybe haven't heard of you yet, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and tell us about the work that you do.
Yeah, thank you very much indeed for having me here. My name's Dr. Charles Mully, and I come from Kenya, and where we have the largest family in the world.
I love that. Largest family in the world. How big is your family?
Well, when I talk about the biggest family, I'm talking about over 26,000. 26,000, those young people who are no longer young, but they have grown through the Mully Children family. And at this moment, we have 6,800 little kids,
wow,
as well as youth, young people in our program.
Now, Dr. Mully was a businessman in Kenya, but life wasn't always good or easy for you. You actually grew up on the streets as well, right? And later in life, as you became successful, you saw young kids living on the streets and you decided to do something about it. And you started an orphanage. 6,800 kids today and over 26,000 total. And Ndondo's one of those children, aren't you?
Yes, I am. I am the fourth born of Daddy Mully and Mommy Esther. So we are 8 children.
Okay.
And now we have over 6,800 who we live
Siblings.
with. Yeah, siblings from just and as he mentioned, over 26,000 who have graduated. And now they're in the society, they're in the community.
That's so amazing.
Yes, it is.
How did this start for you, Dr. Mully? And did you ever think it would grow this large?
Well, let me talk just a little bit about my life. In the beginning, I was just an abandoned child. And my father used to be really addicted to alcohol and then created a lot of problem, beating my mother every day. And we were living in extreme poverty. And at the age of 6 years is when I was abandoned and left alone. But it took so many years for me, about 16 years old, when I found that my life was in danger and I did not know what to do. And out of that then, I came across somebody who saw me waiting to commit suicide. And then he saw me desperate and invited me to walk with him. And that man, I've never seen him ever before. And then I was preached for about the power of Jesus Christ and about forgiveness. And I learned to forgive my mother, my father, who used to beat my mom, and they left me alone.
So it was really that learning about forgiveness, though, that helped you to start moving forward and helping others.
Indeed, it was the power of forgiveness, because the preacher, when I went to that church, he spoke about the forgiveness of our sin and how Jesus Christ came down and really surrendered his life to each one of us. And I felt that message was for me, because I was very bitter about my own father and even mom having abandoned me at the age of 6 years.
It's a really incredible life story. In fact, later on, I'll give away some books written about you and others at the orphanage. Ndondo, what's it like growing up around over 6,000 kids? Like, what's it like in the middle of everyday life there in Kenya?
You know, when my parents decided, actually Dad, right? When the first time he came, he said he had had God tell him he needed to sell all his property.
Right.
You know, he was wealthy and all, and then focus on taking care of the street children. It began by just having 3 children, and then it kept on growing. You know, like more and more children were coming into our family, and these were street children. It wasn't easy to have all these children who are drug addicts. You know, they have they're not cultured at all. So for me, it took about a year to even accept them and to love them. And every day it was growing. You will go to school, come back. Oh, we are more every day. Until now, we are 6,800. And it took me a year so that I could just love them like God loves them. And right now, I work with my parents in MCF as operations director. And just to love on these children and to see the transformation that God has had in their life. And they're now being dependable. They're dependable people. They are people you can trust. They're people that God has worked in their lives to transform them. It's just a blessing.
That's pretty powerful. And that would be actually hard for a kid. I was thinking as you're talking, a year isn't bad, right? Like it could take some people 5 years to get used to this, right? Dad and mom showing attention to other kids and stuff. That could be very difficult, but so amazing when you allow it to happen.
It was tough. It was tough because suddenly my parents, they turned their attention to these children who are from nowhere. And my thought was, why is it that their parents are not loving them? Why do they have to come to my parents so that they can receive love? I was selfish. And I didn't understand until one of the children actually said, I'm so glad to be here. I can get food. I can get clothing. I have parental love. And it broke my heart that I was so mean and selfish. And you don't realize sometimes we have so much and we don't realize that some people yearn for even the smallest of a hug, the smallest of just an expression of love and acceptance. And that is what I didn't have. And now I understand the love of Christ.
Why do you still keep doing it after all these years, Dr. Mully?
The love of God that has been in me and the vision that I got and drove me to bring up young people, meet them in the street and everywhere in the slum, especially orphans, those who has been abandoned like me, the way I was. And that one gave me really the high spirit to get to remove them and be able to help them to become people who are accepted by the society, because they have been, of course, rejected by the society, abandoned, and no parents to care for them. And therefore, being their father and my wife being their mother, it means a lot, not only to the entire world, but also to God, our Creator. And so I always feel, yes, this is what I can do in this world, because indeed there is nothing better that we can do for God when we are alive than to treat the poor, treat those who have no food, give them food to eat, educate them, and empower them to become able people who make our future generation a stronger, empowered, and a great men and women.
Now, of course, you folks have been connected with a local man, Arvid Loen, for years now. When he first heard your story, he decided he's going to do something about it. And he's really done something about it. Hey, years cycling all over the country and North America to raise funds for you folks. And now you're in town. You're going to be speaking tomorrow night, Wednesday evening at North Kildonan MB Church, 7 p.m. I have to ask, first of all, though, what's it been like for you folks to watch Arvid over the years and everything that he's done for the orphanage?
It is really amazing seeing somebody from the Western world, especially from North America, giving himself. Because when he started helping and supporting Mully Children family, it was in the year 2005.
Wow.
And he took 3 kids from MCF and my daughter Ndondo. They went across Canada. And you cannot believe him riding and carrying children behind the wheel of his bicycle. And from that time up to now, he has been able to raise money, and every year he does not rest.
Yeah.
Me, I've never seen something like that. That's one of the miracles out of many of miracles that God has really done. And giving us, him and his wife, Ruth, it means a lot to us as Mully Children's family, and we love him.
And he loves you folks and those kids, and he's so passionate. He's here, but he didn't want to come on, and I think it's because he knows he's just going to get choked up and cry. He always gets so emotional. He's so passionate about it, right? You are at North Kildonan MB Church tomorrow night, 7 p.m. You folks will be speaking there in Ndondo. What are you going to be sharing with the people tomorrow night?
We're going to be sharing about what God has done in Mully Children's family. We have been in existence for the last 34 years. And, the miracles of transformation, there is not as big a miracle as seeing a child who was dependent on drugs, who was hopeless, who had no future at all, brightening up and being a leader, taking up, others are doctors, others are they're teachers, they're pastors, all trades, engineers. And that is what we're going to share. The many aspects of MCF. We don't only work with the children, we work also with the communities around us, because if you're in a community, the communities we work with are very poor. And we say that beyond just helping the children, we go to the community so that we empower them, that we do not have the same aspect of poverty. So breaking that cycle of poverty goes beyond the child ministry, it goes to the community. And that is what we're going to be sharing, what God has done. The miracles, the tangible miracles that we have witnessed all this while.
It's going to be an amazing night. Great stories. There's going to be refreshments available. There's going to be a free will offering taken up. And we get to participate in the work that you're doing. Well, here in Winnipeg, we can help you continue on in the work. Anything you want people to know, Dr. Mully, before we let you go today?
Well, one of the things is that I would like to record my sincere thanks, appreciation, and gratitude to the people of this country, how much they have also committed themselves in giving generously from time to time, and supporting also through our friend and a dear brother in the Lord, Arvid Loen. And also, I would like them to continue really to support us in prayer and also financial support, because what is happening through the donation that we get and the support is so really immense, and do a lot to save a child life, paying for their school, books and so many things, and accommodation, food, and indeed, I'm also happy to record that of late, that of the money that we have been receiving also from here in this North America, we have been able to buy food for feeding 70 schools with an average of 400 children per school. That means 28,000 meals per day. And over per day, meals every day, beside 6,800 children whom we feed every day. So it is a really marathon.
Wow.
I'm so grateful, and wish to also to invite people in future to come and see what they have been doing in terms of helping and supporting the children of Africa through MCF.
I have an idea. Maybe next year, me and Arvid can come there. I'll do a week of radio from Kenya. Hey? I just got to tell my wife first, okay? But it's just absolutely incredible. And to hear and to see how you're bringing the kingdom of heaven to children right here, right now, on earth. Yeah. I love it so much. Thank you both, Dr. Mully and Ndondo, for joining us. Again, 7 p.m. Wednesday night, North Kildonan MB Church. Come out, hear the stories, take a moment, pray for them right now, and then come out and join us tomorrow night.